San Francisco CrossFit, what is up? We are going to be talking about the next month's programming for you guys. If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm kind of leading the charge there and giving you guys the big hierarchy of what you guys are going to do for every day, starting to fill some things in, and then also giving some creative room for our individual coaches to put their little personality stamp on things. This last month, I'm a little tired. I just retested my mile this morning. It was a lot of fun. I know a lot of you guys were rolling your eyes about that mile run and just the running every Friday. But it's so good for you. Sometimes it's just taking your medicine a little bit, but I just really think a little bit of consistent running goes a really long way towards general fitness and to having fun in and outside of the gym. We are going to still run, but the runs are going to be on different days. Instead of running on Fridays this next round, the level 1 crew is going to be running on Thursdays right before, and the level 2 crew is going to be running on Tuesdays. Now, we're going to mix up the running a little bit, and we're actually going to add some hill intervals. So as opposed to just doing 400, 200 on the flat, we're going to be doing some partner, kind of I go, you go hill intervals with some other toys mixed in. It's either going to be some double unders or some medicine ball slams or some kettlebell swings or something like that. The uphill intervals are fantastic. They force you to really recruit that posterior chain back here, forces you to shorten that stride a little bit, to run really tall. Plus, we're not seeing quite the impact and that larger running stride and some of that lit up hamstring-iness that we feel with faster flat running. So this will be a nice little intro for you guys to go in. The big elephant in the room is the open, guys. As we're going for this year, we're going to have the whole gym do the open on Friday. So Friday is always going to be a big question mark for the workouts that day. We always find out, I think, on Thursday afternoons is when they're going to release that thing. You guys are going to do the workout with a partner. You're going to judge each other. It's going to be great. I have no ideas if you're going to be snatching and vomiting or if you're going to be rowing and vomiting or something else. There's probably going to be some nausea at the end, but it's always a good time. For those of you guys who've done the open in the past, it's always a nice time to revisit. For those of you who are a little unsure about it, remember they do have that scale division this year, so there's going to be some options, and CrossFit always likes to change things up a little bit. Now, if you're worried about running and doing the open back-to-back, and you really care about your open performance, hey, guess what? Maybe you're going to dial back your running a little bit, and you can just go outside, shake it out, do some running drills, but it'll be really nice to do some unweighted work and move a little bit before you hit it hard with the barbell. As you know, there's always going to be a barbell included on those Friday workouts. For those of you who aren't as concerned about the open, you treat it like a regular workout, that's just fine. Go hit your runs hard, and you'll feel nauseous 2 days in a row, not just one. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the strength we're going to do. We're mixing things up a little bit. You're going to see so much traditional barbell stuff. We're still working on just developing overall strength capacity with the open. I don't think it's necessarily appropriate to go super, super heavy. So we're actually going to get a little weird. And instead of front squatting for the level 1 crew, we've been front squatting on Mondays. Level 2, I believe it's been on Wednesdays. We're actually going to start to add some weighted front rack lunges and some weighted back rack step-ups. Now, this may feel like it's not helping your squatting a ton, but it really is going to. And I just feel like for all our real-world athletes who are moving and they're skiing and they're hiking and doing fun stuff outside, getting your lunge is a nice way to translate all that squatting work to more real-world stuff. So have fun with that one. On Wednesdays for the level 1 crew, and I believe on Saturdays for the level 2 crew, we're going to hit our deadlifts, but the deadlifts are going to be a little bit different. Instead of just changing, the weight or the percentage, we're going to do some sumo deadlift pulls, which is going to be taking those legs and going from the wider stance position. For some of you guys who are a little stiff, have a hard time getting into that deadlift position with a nice flat back, you're going to like this one. It's going to get you pulling in a little bit more upright position. It's going to feel almost like a box squat, and you're going to feel very powerful there. On some of the other days, what we're actually going to hit is my brain is blanking right now, is going to be a deficit deadlift, which means I'm actually going to get your feet elevated a little further off the ground and getting you pulling a little bit lower. Now, this one's a little trickier, so we're going to go really easy in terms of not having too much weight on that bar. We're going to start a little lighter, and also not being super aggressive with how high our feet are off the ground. Maybe we start with just a 25-pound plate, and then maybe we even work up a little higher to something that's 3 or 4 inches. Obviously, for those of you who are not quite as flexible, this is going to be a tricky one. We want to be careful, but once again, it's going to get us used to pulling off the ground at different heights, not always at this uniform height that we rarely see in the real world. So that's going to be the thing there. Finally, we've got some overhead pressing. We've been doing our strict pressing this last month. We're going to get a little bit weird with our strict pressing again, and we're just going to change up implements. We're going to do some seesaw dumbbell pressing. We're going to do some seesaw dumbbell pressing where we hold overhead and alternate from this position. We're going to do some reverse grip pressing where we press this way as opposed to this way. And then finally, we're going to do a little tempo pressing as well, just for a little fun and a little variety's sake. Finally, we've got a little skill work in there. I've been hearing some great feedback on all our handstand work. So we're going to keep a little handstand balance in there a few times a week. And once again, guys, it's the consistency. If you can get that in every once in a while, it's going to go such a long way toward you guys getting that coveted handstand or that freestanding handstand, whatever it is that you really want to accomplish. Finally, on another day, we're going to be working on our forward rolls and then also introducing our backwards rolls. Now, this just whole concept of rolling, some of you guys are like, well, wait a minute, why do I do this? Why do I care about a handstand to forward roll? This is dumb because I don't see this in a CrossFit competition. Well, you may not, but we think that understanding this rotation in space and understanding how to roll forward and how to roll backwards are just very useful skills just to be a better athlete. They make you more comfortable in a handstand and a handstand push-up. I work with a lot of cyclists, giving them a strategy to roll out if they crash and endo and flip over their bike. It doesn't really hurt. Understanding that backwards roll is a key thing to understanding a rolling pistol as well. So rolling forwards, rolling backwards is just going to be a nice way to develop that athletic skill set. If it feels a little weird, it should, but be patient with it. You're going to enjoy it. Finally, we're going to see just some different intervals as opposed to just long, straight-up Metcons. There's going to be some longer interval days of like 90 seconds to 3 minutes. There's going to be some shorter interval days of 30 to 60 seconds. We can do this in an I go, you go capacity, so it's fun to work with a teammate. And this will just keep our Metcon work short and focused, but also balanced because we know we're going to be grinding it out on those Fridays. So I hope you like the next month's programming. Hit me up if you have any questions. Hit up any of the coaches if you have any questions. I'll be sweating and suffering right next to you.